Today it's 10.8, volumes of pyramids and cones. Volumes of pyramids and cones. We're going to look at a few different, actually, basically one formula, but we're going to apply it in a few different ways. You see the three shapes we're going to be dealing with. The first is a cone. It has a base that's a circle. And the height, this height you see, is a perpendicular height, so you'll see that most of the time at little right angle sign there. This is a rectangular pyramid. We call it by its base. Okay, the base is a rectangle, so it's a rectangular pyramid. And here we have a triangular pyramid. You'll also notice here that capital B comes into play. Capital B means we have to find something. It doesn't mean that we can just put a number in there. We've got to actually do some calculating and put the number in there for capital B. The height is always going to be that perpendicular height there. Okay, 1/3 means we're dividing by 3. Multiplying by 1/3, same as dividing by 3. Okay, so let's kind of dig into a little bit of this today. We'll start with cones. Now remember, we're talking about 1/3 capital BH. Okay, and more specifically what that's going to be, capital B is area of the base. Well, the base is a circle. So what we're going to actually do is do pi r squared h. Pi r squared is capital B, that's area of the circle. And we're going to divide that by 3, okay, with the help of calculators. Okay, so my first problem here, I've got pi, 3.14. I've got r squared, so it's 3.5 squared. And then I've got the height, let me put parentheses around that. Then I've got the height, which is 9, and I'm going to divide by 3. Okay, so with a calculator, we got 3, I'll go ahead and square that first. 3.5 squared times 3.14 times 9 divided by 3. That should give us 115 if we round it off to the nearest whole number. 115 centimeters cubed. It's cubic because we're still in volume, okay? Three-dimensional. Cubic. Okay, let's do the last one of the cones. Again, I'm using this formula, pi 3.14. Just put the numbers where they go. R is the radius, 7.5. We're going to square that. The main thing people miss is not squaring the radius. Or you're given the diameter and you don't take half of it to find the radius. So make sure you're always using the radius and you're always squaring it. Okay, and 15 is the height. And we are definitely going to divide that by 3 at the very end. So again, here we go, 3.14. Let me clear it out. 3.14 times 7.5 squared times 15. And we're going to divide that by 3. And we should get 883. 883 when we finish that. And that is cubic feet. Okay, and that's how you do cones. Again, just put the numbers where they go. You're showing your work. So the way you do that is put the numbers where they go, like I did here, and then your answer. And that's all you have to show. Okay, you have a calculator to do the heavy lifting for you. Let's look at the next page. We got pyramids. Now look, the base is a rectangle, so these are rectangular pyramids. So the formula again is capital B H divided by 3. Now capital B is the area of the base, so that is simply the area of this rectangle, which is this times this. That's pretty simple. So let's look at how that works out. Capital B is 5 times 7. I'll just put it in there, 5 times 7. And then the height is 4. And we're dividing by 3. Okay, now this is capital B right here. And this is the height. Now notice what we did. We basically just did length times width times height and divided by 3. So we took the formula for the very simple formula for the volume of a rectangular prism and just divided it by 3 for the pyramid. So you can think of it like this: length times width times height divided by 3. So let's do that. We've got 5 times 7 times 4 divided by 3. And that's going to be 46.6 repeating. That's going to give us, we'll go with 47. Okay, 47 centimeters cubed. Again, we're showing our work by just putting the numbers here and getting the answer. Okay, again, length, width, height divided by 3. So 10 times 8 times 6 divided by 3. Well, that gives us 80, and that should be 160 when we multiply and divide that out. So 10 times 8, I just went ahead and divided the 6 by 3 first and got 2, and 80 times 2 is 160. We should get 160, and that's inches cubed. Okay, so again, showing your work here, answer here. Next one, we've got 8 times 7 times 6 divided by 3. Okay, 8 times 7 is 56. I'm going to go ahead and, since I'm doing mental math here, divide the 6 by 3 and get 2. 56 times 2 is going to be 112. And I get 112 inches cubed. Okay, that's rectangular pyramids. Easy stuff. Moving on, we have a triangular pyramid. This is a little different. We got the same formula. Okay, capital BH over 3. But let's look at what capital B is, and let's see if we can get a little shorthand formula for us. So capital B is the area of the triangle. That's going to be 6 times 8, but we're going to divide by 2. Okay, so basically capital B is 6 times 8 divided by 2. Okay, and then little h is 14, and we're dividing all that by 3. So another thing you can do is we're dividing by 2, and then we're dividing by 3. So in essence, we're really dividing by 6. Okay, and we can certainly do it that way. What we're going to do, I guess to make it easier on ourselves, we will do length, width, and height, 6 times 8 times 14, divided by 6, because we are dividing by 2 for the triangle and by 3 for the pyramid, and this is only for triangular pyramids. Only for triangular pyramids. Okay, so we should get 112 for that. 112. When you multiply that and divide, 112 feet, and it's still cubed. Okay, again, length times width times height, 10 times 12 times 17, and we're going to divide by 6. Divide by 6. And if I do that mentally, that give me a 2. That's 170 times 2. That should be 340. 340 cubic centimeters. Okay. Last one. Now, one of these links I do not need. Okay. I don't need this thing right here called the slant height. That is not a height we use for volume. That's a height you use for surface area. Okay, we're not going to use a slant height. We're going to use this little perpendicular height here. We need the 6 because all these sides are the same. So that tells me this is 6 also. So 6 times 4 times 5 divided by 6. Again, remember, only for triangular prisms do you divide by 6, and that's because we're dividing by 2 with this and dividing by 3 with the pyramid. Okay, when I do that, that gives me 20 cubic centimeters. Okay, and I think we got one more and we're done. Okay, here we have 2 shapes in one. We have a cone up top with a radius that's the same as this, and then we have a cylinder. Now, the radius isn't really 1, but it makes it really easy for us. So let's find the cylinder first. Remember, the cylinder is pi r squared h, okay? And the cone is pi r squared h divided by 3. That's what we learned today. So let's do the cylinder first. 3.14. Radius is 1. Square it. Well, we know what that is. And the height, you got to subtract. The height of the cylinder is right here. So it's 13 minus 2, which is 11. Okay? So, again, squaring 1 doesn't change anything. We're just going to do 3.14. You're going to multiply by 1, which obviously doesn't change anything. And we should get 34.54, which is 35. So I'm going to write 30. If it's oh, wow, I don't know what happened here. Let me go back up here and remove that ugly stuff. Okay, so I've got 34.54. Okay, and that is meters cubed. Now let's do this one, 3.14. Now the radius is the same, 1 squared, and the height is 2. That's just going to give me 2 times 1 is just 2. 1 squared is just 1, remember. And then that's going to give me 6.28. Okay, so if we just add these two together, we should be good. That gives me 12. Carry the 1, 5. Gives me 8. And that gives me a 10. Carry the 1. That gives me a 4. So if I round this, I get 41 meters cubed. Okay, and that sums up pyramids and cones.